All right, I want to start by saying congratulations to the Cincinnati Bengals for getting the victory. They advanced to 2-2 on the season, get back to 500. That's good for them. The Cincinnati Bengals found a way to win this game in the second half, so good on them. Joe Burrow had a good performance. As for the Miami Dolphins, they fall to 3-1. They lose their first game on the season, which means there's only one undefeated team left, the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll see if that holds up when they take on the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday. So it should be an interesting game then. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I really don't have a recap tonight. I couldn't focus on the game after Tua got hurt. Now, of course, I understand what happened in the second half. I know I saw it happen. It was on the TV here, but I just wasn't paying attention to the game because I was just constantly on social media trying to get any sort of updates about Tua. Now, in terms of updates for Tua, we do have some good news. Obviously, we all saw Tua go down in the first half, and specifically in the second quarter. He went down when he got sacked and he hit his head. And it was a scary moment because he hit his head and he looked seriously just completely phased and just his body froze. I don't even know how to really express it. His body froze. You saw his fingers froze. It looked like he just couldn't move. Like that was some serious brain damage we were seeing there because he just couldn't move. His body froze. It's like it locked in. And it was a scary sight to see. He had to be taken out on a stretcher. They took him to a hospital, and we were all just sending our prayers out for Tua. As the game went on, we were hearing a report that all of Tua's extremities were fine. He was able to move them. He was cool. He was okay there. So that was good progress. And about a couple minutes ago, we just got some news at the end of the game here that Tua is fine. He's going to be discharged from the hospital, and he's expected to travel with the Miami Dolphins back to Miami tonight. So that is some good news. That's some positive news. That is definitely some uplifting news that we wanted to hear. So it seems like Tua's going to be okay. At least we hope so, because if what people are believing, if what people were believing or what people were speculating is the case, then it could end up being bad. But I just don't want to think about that, and I just hope that's not the case because going back to Sunday, we saw Tua hit his head on the turf. He got up, he looked very woozy. He was shaking. He fell on the ground. It just looked like he was concussed. It just straight up looked like he was concussed. He looked hurt, and he looked like he was going through a concussion. He somehow passed the protocol. They said he was okay, so they put him back out there. Now, in those situations, I feel like even if he passes the protocol, it's up to the team to make the judgment, and sometimes the team has to be able to protect the player from themselves. If you saw how he was in that Bills game, you would think that the organization would be like, we can't put Tua out there for the second half. I mean, we just can't try that. Whether or not he passed the protocol, we just can't attempt that. But they put him out there, and he finished the game. And then here on a short week against the Cincinnati Bengals, I guess they thought it was fine. There was no report that he was concussed. He passed protocols. Even though it looked like he was concussed, they just said it was okay. And they decided on a short week, we're going to let Tua go play on the road in Cincinnati. And then he plays against Cincinnati and he gets hurt. And it seems like it's a second concussion. But of course, this one also wasn't ruled or called a concussion. He was just out with head and neck injuries, which is very severe. It looked like he suffered a concussion. Both those clips we saw, it looked like he suffered a concussion. And I'm telling you, man, if he really did suffer 2 concussions in the same week, that's scary. I'm just prayers up for him. Prayers up for him right there. But, from what we're getting out, he's fine. Let's just hope there's no long-term damage because if a player legitimately suffers not even a player, but if anybody suffers 2 concussions within a week, they could die from that. That's really serious. Suffering multiple concussions within the span of a week, you could legitimately die from that. Hopefully that really wasn't the case with Tua here, because, right now they said he's okay and he's going to be leaving out, but, from whatever happened, bro, I'm just hoping for the best, man. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to start speculating about some of the things happening. I'm just hoping for the best. I'm hoping long-term Tua's going to be fine. That's all I can say. I'm hoping long-term Tua's going to be fine. I'm hoping there's no long-term damage, no long-term brain damage, no long-term neurological damage. Just hoping that Tua's going to be fine moving forward. That's all I care about. As for the team, I'm going to leave it up to the NFLPA. They were investigating the situation on Sunday. They're going to continue to investigate. They sent out a tweet early on, wishing the best for Tua, and said they're going to continue their investigation. So whatever comes out regarding that is whatever comes out regarding that. If somebody's going to be held accountable or if somebody's going to get punished, it is what it is. And whatever happens, happens, It is what it is when it comes to that. Man, I really just all I can do is focus on Tua, man, and wish for the best. And I do want to apologize to the Cincinnati Bengals and stuff and just Bengals fans because I know y'all got the win. This is a good night for y'all, and I'm not trying to be a downer or take away from this. Once again, congrats to you guys. But, yeah, this was just more important, man. This is a person's life we're talking about. And sports will never, ever, sports, entertainment, none of those will ever be considered more important than a person's life. And, we saw somebody whose life could have been in danger tonight. So me focusing on the game and coming here afterwards and being like, oh, yeah, the Bengals win it, I couldn't do that. I just couldn't. But I don't want to take away from the Bengals winning the game. Good on them for that. I don't want to take away from Joe Burrow having a nice performance, starting to look like his old self. Good on him for that. Give them credit for that. We all saw what they did tonight. Even though I wasn't fully focused on the game, I did see some of the things that were happening. Good on them for what they did tonight. I just want to give them the credit, but I just can't focus on that tonight. And I just couldn't focus on that for this video. I can only just focus on Tua's situation. And then for the Dolphins as well, we all saw what happened. I just, when it came to Bridgewater, he did what he could. It was a horrible situation. And that affected the team, and Bridgewater tried to do whatever he could in that game, so it is what it is with that. But, yeah, thankfully, Tua will be discharged. Personally, I thought they were going to keep him there overnight just to observe him to make sure he's okay, but apparently they are perfectly fine with just letting him, get discharged tonight. I would hope you would want to observe him a little more just to make sure nothing is severe or anything long-term, but they're fine with letting him go. He'll travel with the team back to Miami, and, we may hear some reports about what's happening in the coming days. Now, obviously, week 5 will be happening. They're going to get 10 days off, so week 5 will be next Sunday. And me personally, I just believe Tua should not play in that game. Based on what's happened within the last several days, the situation on Sunday and then this situation here, Tua should not be playing next game. He should not be on the field next week. That's just how I feel. But again, it's going to be up to Tua. It's going to be up to the team, and they're going to have to come to a decision. And I hope the team makes the right decision and does what's best for the player's health. Even if the player wants to play, you have to protect the player from themselves. I just feel like let him sit out this game, get that extra time to really get himself together, and then in week 6, he can come back. That's just how I feel about it. But it is what it is. I don't make the decisions here. We'll see what happens with Tua moving forward. We'll see whatever happens with the NFLPA and how they figure this out and investigate this situation. And if any punishment comes, we'll see how the Dolphins deal with it. With that being said, that is all I've got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.